2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. I know this guy is chomping at the bit, not just to sell you a car at Coons Ford Security Boulevard, but to engage you in the civic purple conversation that is the Sunday Sports Voice. Welcome. Dennis Koulatsos back on. He'll be here on Thursday from 3 until 5 doing the SSV on WNST. In the meantime, how many times have you washed that Lamar Jackson jersey since you ordered it at 11:42 p.m. In April of last year?
You know what? Full disclosure, that sucker needs to be washed. It's way overdue. I've got to take it to the dry cleaners. You know what? It's time. It jumped on me when I put it on. And so it's time to get it ready.
Well, I tell you what, this is a week to do that, and I want to give you all praise and love on all of this. You were the first guy on the Lamar. You were out with Joe, in with Lamar. You loved the draft pick. You loved it from the minute it happened. You're one of the very few people that I know that from the beginning universally has been all in. You have been all in on Lamar.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you're right, and my business partner said in life you've got to be right 51% of the time to be successful. I've taken it to heart. I've embraced it. But I did see some things in this young man in college that I thought had a good chance to translate very well into the pro game, into the NFL, and I was glad he got a chance last year. It was at the unfortunate expense of the injury to Joe Flacco, but had he not finished the season 6-1, had he not the team made the playoffs, we probably have a different head coach. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I think this is also very good for John Harbaugh. I think that Lamar's personality meshes even better with Coach Harbaugh's fire personality than Joe's aloofness ever did. But it's nice to see everybody on the same page, one heartbeat, and I think the sky's the limit for this young man, this franchise, this organization.
Well, Dennis, to see this sort of capability, look, overthrows, underthrows, they happen all over the league, right? But can you make the throw when it matters? And I didn't like that they were in trouble at the end, right? I mean, they were a mistake away from bad things happening on Sunday, quite frankly. I mean, the game was far too close and too interesting for my taste, right? But all that being said, when you need to make the throw, you make the throw, not just the throw back shoulder over the edge, to Hollywood Brown, who has been just incredible through 2 weeks, that all of this makes Eric DeCosta smell pretty good too right now. I mean, everything about the way this crystal ball thing is shaped up, aside from Jimmy Smith and Tavon Young and other injuries and this and that, but by and large, this has been a perfect palette to start the season in so many ways.
It really has, Nestor. And the NFL has transformed. It's a scoring league. It's very much a possession league, a time of possession scoring, and it seems as though most of these games come down to the wire, and the team that has the ball last is a team with a huge advantage. We saw that a week ago in the game between the Saints and the Texans. The Texans scored late in the game, left 37 seconds on the clock for Drew Brees, and of course he drove the team down the field in 37 seconds, put them in positions for Will Lutz to convert a 58-yard field goal. We can't win the same way we won back in 2000 or even in 2012, and I think Eric DeCosta, to your point, jumped on it. And as we go on to Kansas City, you're not going to hold down the Chiefs. You might be able to contain them, but you've got to be able to go punch for punch, blow for blow with them, big play for big play. You can't bank on holding the teams to 2 touchdowns or 17 points anymore while hoping you can somehow, score 20, 21 of them. So now with Lamar Jackson, I think they do have some weapons that have to step up besides Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown to make this offense even more explosive. But Eric DeCosta, he hits some home runs, and hopefully some of the other players on the offensive side of the ball that Eric DeCosta selected will also start to pay dividends.
Well, and the dividends are being paid with good decision-making and some deep depth, right? And the tight end room, and we're going to get into this. We're going to spend some time with Nick Bull. We're going to spend some time with Hayden Hurst before all this is over with, and Mark Andrews as well. Mark Andrews, my wife, she has a diabetes like Mark Andrews, and they both wear the same monitor. So I always talked about that. But he's quickly become my wife's favorite player. And Dennis, you were at the game. I saw you there with Margo. I saw you putting the videos and all that. What does your section look like right now? Has it changed dramatically since the knee? I can tell you up in the upper deck where I am seeing so many young people, people of color, families, young girls, young boys, people that look like Christos and Peter DeLutis, running around who weren't there. And I said to Coach Billick earlier, these are people that weren't there when you were coaching, Coach. These are people that never saw Ray Lewis dance. These are people that, maybe weren't at Ravens games the last time we won a Super Bowl, which is now 7 years ago. And I see these 22, 24, 27-year-old people. And no offense against any of them because I used to be one, but it's different than the church I went to where for 20 years, every face behind me, every face at the bathroom, every face behind my section at halftime were all the same human beings. That has changed dramatically, and there's still some empty seats, but I think the Ravens thing has opened itself up now for the next thing, whatever that is, that you and I are going to participate now that they have escalators.
Yeah, it was really a good look, Nestor. I was very fortunate. I was comped some field passes and also a suite for the game, and I was on the field. And let's talk about the tight end group. First of all, you brought them up. I stood there in front of them and I videotaped them. I've never seen a more massive group of tight ends, a more athletic group of tight ends. These are alpha males. These are studs. Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst, Nick Boyle, and Pat Ricard. I mean, you're talking about some big, strong, fast guys. Very, very, very impressive group on the field as well as off of it. Now, the fan base, Margot got a picture with Lamar on the sideline, little kids all around him. In fact, she says, "Lamar, I'm your number one fan." He said, "Yes, ma'am." He's so respectful. He's so polite. He's so mature for his years.
How could she lie to Lamar and say she was his number one fan when it's you?
You know what? She's a better salesperson than I am, far better, and she'll tell you that herself, and I will agree with it. But he's just so engaging. I think you're right. I think the Ravens are attracting a new generation of fans, and you know what? I think it's for the better. And I think now winning is contagious. Offense sells tickets, and I think they'll be able to grow the brand. And look, the empty seats are not a phenomenon here just in Baltimore. As I looked at games, the evening games and the night game in the NFL, there are plenty of if not more, empty seats around other stadiums than what the Ravens are facing. So this problem of the fans not coming out in droves, it's not unique to the Ravens. But to your point, I do think the Ravens have a chance. I'm not going to use the word diversify. I think to have a more inclusive audience, more representative of the team and the city they represent.
Well, not just that. I just think it's just time is time. And 25 years of people going to the same place every Sunday and doing things the same way, that's changed now. And I have great gratitude for that. I mean, there needs to be. It's what the Orioles have missed on, right? I mean, as we sit here, we talk about 100 losses and all that, but the Orioles have not created a new fan base, and they certainly it doesn't look and feel that way. Dennis, I went out early in the morning. My wife went to the farmer's market and dropped me off. I was having some political discussion with some friends down below the casino, and a lot early in the morning, and I was just taken aback by people coming into the city on a beautiful day, setting up a barbecue, going to the casino, going to wherever their tailgate, their place, their thing, their music, their spot, their people, their relatives, whatever it is, and drinks and eats and good air, and I could smell the charcoal in the air and the pit beef. It was just incredible, man. That's something. I live here, Den, and I'm Baltimore positive. You know this, right? I mean, that's not something you see and feel and do every day. It's something that only a Light City or a Holiday or a Ravens game or a U2, it's only that kind of a thing that brings it together in that way. And it's nice to go to the community of Baltimore church for me, the non-denominational purple church of, hey, let's all get together and as a community and pull in the same direction. And there was something really cool about that on Sunday that you don't feel here every day of the week.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And momentum is building. And Nestor, it started off midway through last season as the wind started coming. You got that slow burn, and now it's starting to build up. It's starting to boil. And look, if this team can pull off an upset in Kansas City, and there's no reason why they can't, come back home, take care of the Browns. Look, Lamar Jackson in the regular season is 8-1. Let's not understate that. That's that fact. And they can keep, building that positive energy and attracting more fans to the stadium. And they're out there. Unlike the Orioles, Nestor, you always talk about this. They're out there in the community. They're calling me. They're inviting me to events, etc. They want me to get involved with them. And guess what? I feel like getting involved. And you talk about fans. My wife hasn't watched a game in a couple of years. She's a big-time Lamar fan, and she's coming to the games now because of him. She wants to see Lamar Jackson play, which should tell us something right then and there.
Well, right. I mean, and I guess everybody that saw him play and saw him drop a dime and sees him run around that was at the game on Sunday may say, "Well, I'm not going to go to all the games, but I'm gonna be there in December, or I'm going to want to be there at the playoff game," because I do think the faces are going to change week to week. That it's not, that the people that were there this week won't be there next week. It'll be different, and that's okay too. And I think there'll be some people that want to come out and doff the cap for Coach Billick next week as well. I'll have a chance to talk to you about it, I'm sure, a couple of times on the SSV the next couple of Thursdays as well. We had Coach Billick on. I've had a lot of my friends, our friends of Coach Billick, the Jack Del Rios and the Marvin Lewises and all these people that work with Brian and feel like in some way they owe their career to Brian. There's going to be a nice little celebration of that next time around. And you talk about a big game, big games are what draw people. Who is not pointed in on 1 o'clock this week? I mean, my wife and I are going out to Kansas City. We're going to eat barbecue. We're going to be doing the whole thing, tailgating, video, and Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. But it's sort of a must-see thing, right? Like the whole community's now going to come back to the purple light to keep warm at 1 o'clock on Sunday this week. Yeah,
no doubt about it, Nestor. And you know what? I can't think back but think about all the negativity, all the media criticism, all the fan criticism of Lamar Jackson, the notion that wide receivers wouldn't want to come to Baltimore to play with Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews, over 100 yards. Marquise Brown, 8 catches for close to 100 yards. Why wouldn't a wide receiver want to come to Baltimore to play with Lamar Jackson? You can bet your bottom dollar right now that Des Bryant is regretting not signing for 3 years and $21 million to come to Baltimore. Can you imagine? He's probably sitting at home right now, taking himself, or having somebody else kick him in case he can't do it himself, right?
I don't know if Hollywood Brown would be here then, or I don't know if Earl Thomas. Yeah. It's a domino, right? Everything changes. It's like a Scrabble board, literally, right? You get dealt a different letter, something else happens, and I'm real happy. What did Ray Lewis say? I'm happy with the bus I'm riding on, right? Or the bus I'm getting off of on a Sunday. And more than that, what a week we have ahead here, Den. And again, we'll talk about it on Thursday between 3 and 5. Dennis Koulatsos is here. He, of course, sponsoring us and hosting the SSV from 3 until 5, heard on Sunday mornings as well as our WNST tech service, which happily has not been too busy with injury reports, which I'm good with. So 1 o'clock we get the Ravens in the game of the week. Then you're going to get a chance to see Pittsburgh, winless Pittsburgh, go out to San Francisco. You're going to see the Browns play a big Sunday night host game against the Rams. The Redskins are 0-2. Joe Flacco is 0-2 at this point. There's a lot of tectonic plate shifting in the NFL, and all of them are going to be geared toward Kansas City at 1 o'clock. This is the game of the week.
They really are, and the Bengals travel to Buffalo. That should be a loss for them. And for the Steelers, they're going out to the left coast, and I think with or without Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback, I think they're in trouble. The 49ers look real good. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing real well. They can run the ball. They have a solid defense. It's not a stretch that the Ravens can stretch that lead out to 3 games over the divisional foes, particularly if the Browns lose to the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things moving, but nothing quite like Roethlisberger not being right? Like that,
yeah.
When you talk tech, and by the way, Drew Brees, I mean, Eagles are banged up. The Broncos snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory. I mean, there were things that happened late in the day on Sunday that, don't blink. It's the NFL. Don't blink. You could wake up and be 0-2, right?
Hey, that night game against the Patriots, I know it's in the distance, Nestor, but you talk about a hot ticket. That stadium is going to be rocking like we've never seen it here in a very, very long time. I've got that one circled on my calendar. I'm sure you do too.
Oh, yeah, and the beginning of Light City as well. So I'm going to, you know what, that night, you and Margo are going to come down. We're going to grab us a steak down Ruth's Chris, all right? So we're going to have to figure that out.
My treat.
We're going to have to figure that out because Light City is something that, you want to get my Baltimore Positive going. We got Brandon Scott joining us at Fadley's this week downtown on Thursday, so come on down for that. My Baltimore Positive is going to be going when the city's all lit up and the Patriots are in town, and it's It's Lamar and Tom Brady. How about Tom Brady at 40? Hey, by the way, I don't know if you've looked at the standings here to see sort of the gaudiness of the whole thing, but you look at the Patriots and see 76-3, literally.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The Patriots, look, they're playing the weakest division in the NFL. It's been well documented, but look, if this is a collision course between these two organizations, these two franchises. They don't care for us. We don't care for them, and I just can't wait for the build-up. Lamar will be that much more experienced, that much more mature by the time he faces them, and this defense has to get healthy and stay healthy. They really miss Jimmy Smith right now. Earl Thomas was a non-factor in the game as well. Secondary, I'm sure we have a lot of time to talk about that too this week.
Well, I have a prediction that Kansas City brisket will be on your buffet Saturday out at Coons Florida Security Boulevard. Hey, I will check in with you on Thursday en route to Kansas City, and we'll see you in the SSV. And knock on whatever we need to knock on right now. It's good purple mojo for our community here in the Baltimore Positive Vibe this week, Dennis Koulatsos.
Yep, knock on wood if you're with me, as John Gruden likes to say, except it's going to work better for us because we don't believe in luck. We believe in hard work and execution, just like Coach Harbaugh and the Ravens.
Assignment, alignment, technique, Dennis Koulatsos. We'll see you soon. There he goes. He'll be here on Thursday from 3 until 5. It is the SSV on WNST. You can find me anytime, anywhere. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Snapchat and Instagram and streaming live on our Facebook Live as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking Baltimore sports.